Good morning. So this week we're going to talk about the unethical and unlawful purchasing practices under Sheriff Caruana's leadership. The purchasing of multi-million dollars of radio equipment was initially uncovered in a Finance Committee meeting on February 5th of 2026. Now I want to emphasize my strong support for acquiring new radios. I am not at all against the radios being purchased, and I do not disagree that replacement radios are needed. I do believe our deputies, corrections officers, and the rest of our Sheriff's Department personnel deserve the best equipment and technology available. I also know our current county board members and county administrators agree that public safety is a top priority, and they are united in their commitment to both advancing public safety initiatives and supporting our public safety personnel. The focus of this discussion is not on the necessity of these radios, but rather on the unlawful and unethical purchasing practices of Sheriff Caruana. The principal concerns, which have been publicly addressed and recorded in two Finance Committee meetings, warrant thorough review by investigative authorities. There are violations of state laws as well as county ordinances and policies. I am not the person that keeps drawing attention to myself at the Sheriff's Office and that is consistently violating ethics rules, policies, laws, and ordinances. I am simply the one willing to expose misconduct by top law enforcement officials who neglect public safety and fiscal responsibility. No one else seems to be in the county. So this represents only a small portion of the overall issues. In this particular issue, the whole incident revolves around two simple questions. Did the sheriff allow a notice to proceed letter be executed with Motorola Solutions for a multi-million-dollar purchase without county board approval? The answer is yes. And did the sheriff's office personnel receive and take possession of the radio equipment months prior to county board approval and funding being approved by the county board? And the answer is a very simple yes. Come on, this isn't rocket science. Two wrongs don't make a right. This is one of several violations I have found in the sheriff's purchasing practices. To ensure transparency for Winnebago County citizens, I requested a comprehensive investigation with the state's attorney's office into the purchasing practices under Sheriff Caruana. There are breaches of state laws, county ordinances, and policies that have been ignored. I am concerned about the impartiality of any investigation, and here's why. The Civil Bureau Chief of the State's Attorney's Office was a witness to admissions made in the Finance Committee meetings on February 5th and February 19th. The State's Attorney is part of the same Republican Party affiliation as the Sheriff and majority of the board, and the State's Attorney's job is to look out and defend the interest of the county and its officials. So, under the leadership of the Sheriff's Office has demonstrated a consistent disregard for state laws, county ordinances, and established purchasing policies. This incident represents only a single example among many, with additional cases readily available for review. Routine violations of purchasing laws are often overlooked, and political reluctance to address these issues persists largely due to the sheriff's political influence and the fear of reprisal for opposing his actions. Securing approval from county board after the sheriff's office and properly authorize a notice to proceed agreement may ratify the action, but it doesn't absolve the sheriff in the initial unlawful and unethical actions. Checks and balances are supposed to be in place to prevent politicians from circumventing the system. I do not believe the checks and balances worked in this case. At both the February 5th and February 19th Finance Committee meetings, county board members openly admitted that procedures for procuring the radio equipment did not adhere to standard purchasing protocols, and they weren't happy about it. They also stated that their decision to vote in favor of moving the funding request to the full board was solely to ensure that the line staff received the latest equipment necessary for public safety. Now, it should be noted in my State Line News article from February 23rd, Gary Caruana has released a statement that clearly deflecting attention from his illegal and unethical behaviors, just as he's on record doing when he was reported to the state's attorney for violating the Hatch Act in 2022 while filming a commercial for another political candidate. And of course, nothing came of that from the state's attorney's office either. So this is yet another example of the sheriff's arrogance as he appears to believe he is above the law. What other illegal or unethical actions is Sheriff Gary Caruana involved in? Some of this has already been discussed in past weekly insights on my social media, and we will discuss more in the future. If anyone has any questions, feel free to email me at donbarcelonaforsheriff@gmail.com or contact me at my website, donbarcelonaforsheriff.com. Thank you and have a great week.